Okay, yeah, so welcome from my side to this webinar. I will talk a little bit more in technical terms, but not only in technical terms. Which experiments are we looking for, and what are the characteristics, and also what may be interesting for you from a technical perspective, what do you have to do to integrate an experiment within DIGITbrain. So, as it has already been pointed out, there are two key concepts in DIGITbrain. We are focusing around industrial products. Industrial products, in other terms, can be considered being manufacturing machines that actually reaches even into something like harvesting robots, for instance. So everything which is used to produce something is considered being an industrial product. For these industrial products, digital twins shall be developed within the scope of the experiment. And these digital twins are meant to model some specific behavior of these industrial products, to be able to analyze them and to do different kinds of predictions, learning from the behavior models, feeding the behavior models with data from the shop floor, etc., etc. So to understand the behavior better and then to adapt production to tailor manufacturing machines and so on and so forth. So for digital twins, we are following a definition that we have slightly adapted. And the key terms of this definition is that digital twins consist of models, data, and algorithms. So the algorithms software is used to interpret models, and models are fed with data to do certain kinds of prediction. That is basically the whole idea here. And we expect experiments to separate models and data and algorithms from each other into individual assets, which seems very obvious, but in many cases it's not implemented that way. So why shall you separate algorithms from models from data? First and foremost is to boost the reuse of these assets on an individual basis and to enable to build digital twins by recombinations of these assets, thus speeding up the process of developing new digital twins in the future. So for the experiment itself, it may not be necessary to split the assets, but on the long run, we think that it is a stark contribution to the reuse of these assets. Reuse enables recombining them, and by combining pre-existing assets, digital twins can be developed much faster than traditionally. So that is the technical benefit that we see in this approach. But there is another benefit from the business side, from the business point of view. We have one component which is called the Digital Agora. It is an extended marketplace, and the experiments are expected to provide their results on this marketplace, and there they can commercialize and monetize these assets individually. So DIGITbrain is also offering you an additional marketing channel for these individual results. What kinds of use cases are we looking for? You have seen this picture already. We are addressing the full product life cycle, and you can suggest use cases from each of these stages. What I'd like to underscore here is also the recycling and the eco-friendly and environmental friendly aspects. So we are encouraging you to also consider not also the economic but also the ecologic aspects of your machinery and incorporate life cycle analysis into your experiment to address the economic effects of your manufacturing. So we are also expecting you to point out expected benefits from the experiments for each individual stakeholder, for each individual experiment partner in your proposal. And you have examples of partners, and you find them in a more elaborate way also in the technical document, where we brainstormed potential benefits for these individual partners. And in this document, which is part of the documentation, you have seen this link already. We have exemplified some of the benefits that we can envisage from using digital twins and DIGITbrain, and these are just some sources to kind of motivate and strive creativity here. So this is not an exhaustive list, and you don't need to stuck to that. This is just for imagination, so to say. So technically, what do we offer? We are developing the DIGITbrain solution, and a conceptual architecture you can see on the right-hand side, and you can pretty much forget about the right-hand side right after this slide. Once you are successful, you will see it again and again, but the important message here is that what is looking very complex is designed to make your life as easy as possible on the long run. And I will come back to this in a minute. Because integration with the DIGITbrain solution is made as easy as possible from our point of view. And you have benefits such as automated deployment and execution on different compute resources, ranging from edge devices to HPC clusters. And you don't need to care about these individual things in the details. They are all managed for you. So beside this technical platform framework, we also offer expertise and consultancy. So as it was pointed out by Antonio and Giacomo, each experiment will be accompanied by expertise from the core team of the project. And we offer a certain set of tools. However, we are expecting that the experiments bring their own tools to enrich what we offer on the Digital Agora, aka the marketplace, to populate it and to create synergies mid-term and enrich the offering and make the marketplace attractive for you and for us and for new clients. So what do you have to do once you successfully proposed an experiment? Within the experiment, the major activities are the design development of the digital twin, to apply it to the industrial product instance or instances that you have selected, and to test and verify them. For that, you may need to adapt already existing software tools, and we strongly recommend to start with existing software. Time frame and budget is likely not to be sufficient to start from scratch. So we are explicitly asking you in our proposal template, which software are you going to start with, and what are the actions that you need to undertake to modularize the software if necessary, and to embed it into our framework. And I'll tell you how to embed it on the next slide. So this software can be of type simulation, optimization, analysis, analytics, machine learning, etc. And you also need to provide these assets, model data and algorithms on repositories to which you can then refer in case you want to use specific factory data sources. The experiments are expected to implement the corresponding connectors. In case you have visualization needs and capabilities, we are calling them apps. So these apps can then talk to the model evaluation algorithm directly and may support human-computer interaction for the visualization. You have to also describe the showcase which you want to benefit from your development, so maybe customization of the industrial product or cost-effective distributed production. So Antonio was talking about this already. By applying digital twins, and you can apply digital twins to an individual instance, or even more so to a kind of set, a cohort, a certain amount of individual instances, if you want to compare their behavior and if you want to deduct certain things from observing a behavior in one instance for the others, and you want to transfer this learning and these insights. So I talked about embedding or integrating an experiment into DIGITbrain. And what does it take to integrate with DIGITbrain? One of the bold statements here is that there is hardly any interaction with an API, with an application programming interface that you need to do when you want to integrate with DIGITbrain. Integration instead is mostly done by a so-called publishing procedure. So what is the publishing procedure? Optionally, you may need to modularize your software depending on how big it is and if you want to structure it into microservices. In any case, the software has to be containerized. For that, we prefer Docker and Linux. And this container is being published on a certain repository, and then metadata is used to describe it. As I said, data connectors need to be implemented, and they are also considered microservices. Once you have these microservices and other assets like model and data, you're going to publish them via the so-called DIGITbrain asset publishing interface, which is just filling out tables of metadata structures with certain values. In this metadata, you describe what a certain algorithm may require in terms of hardware resources and operating system, what this algorithm is providing in terms of functionality, and similar things you need to describe for the model and for your data source. And then there is a composition stage where you can combine model data and algorithm to aggregated things which we call DMA tuples, and those DMA tuples can be automatically deployed and executed on different compute infrastructures. Instead, in addition to this, you need to define what we call conditions that trigger messages, and those ones are stored in the DIGITbrain, and they can also be used to inform the user that certain things that were unexpected, for instance, did happen. And these conditions act on the output of the models that you are using, the behavior models. In case you want to have visualization apps, you can embed them into microservices, and they become part of the algorithm, what we call the algorithm. An algorithm in our terminology is a set of microservices. And finally, you can publish your company profiles on the Digital Agora together with all the tools that you have already published on DIGITbrain. And then not only the experiment partners can use them, but on the long run, also new clients, new customers can use them. And you are going to work on a monetization scheme together with our business consultancy strand, which is another activity in each experiment. You find all this information in the documents that were mentioned. What I was explaining here is also part of the short technical document. As Giacomo said, the guide for applicants is very important. The proposal template is the thing that you need to fill, and then there is other documents that give you even more information. This is the content of the short technical document. This is roughly 15 pages, so it's not exhaustive, but it gives you a lot of insights into our terminology, into the processes that you are going to need to perform, etc., etc. Good. That was my part, and with that, I return back to Giacomo for the moderation.